Welcome to the Mom Owned and Operated podcast, the podcast about moms and for moms, where we have candid conversations about running a business, raising a family, and remembering ourselves. I'm your host, Rita Suzanne, a single mom of four, digital strategist, and provider of no-nonsense business strategies and tactics. Hi, this is Mom Owned and Operated. I'm Rita Suzanne, and today I have my guest, Katiuscia, with me. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about you, your family, and your business.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Katiuscia Rosado. I'm born and raised in Switzerland and moved 6 years ago to the United States with my husband and my little daughter. I'm being a makeup artist more than 20 years now, always been in this industry. Mm-hmm. And since a year now, I just made one of my biggest dreams come true, which is having an own makeup line.
Yeah. How do you decide, like, I just want to have my own makeup line, and it's specific, right? Who's your customer?
My customers are women that go through chemo and post-chemo. Mm-hmm. And how I got there, it's not just from one day to the other. It's a dream that I started already when I started in the makeup industry. I always wanted to have a makeup line that is completely clean. Mm-hmm. Working with so many products and seeing what is in there, it's always been something that it was a no to me. I always wanted something good and also clean. And back 20 years ago, it was very difficult to find even something clean. I mean, talking clean beauty 20 years ago, it was not at all a conversation. It was not at all an option. Mm-hmm. And many people don't know why it's so important to have a clean beauty product.
Well, tell us, why is it so important? I would love to. I mean, I use clean stuff, but go ahead.
That's good. A lot of people don't know why it is so important. It is important because clean beauty or not clean ingredients can even cause cancer. Right. So sometimes you get a situation or an issue with your health and you don't know where it's coming from. Right. Let's say 75 to 80%, it's because of the ingredients that we have in our cosmetic products and even what we eat. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of both. And having a clean beauty product, I mean, let's say you're a healthy person, you watch exactly what you eat, and that's the way you should look exactly what the ingredients are in your cosmetics. Right. Shampoos, makeup, vitamins, whatever you take, collagen, it has to be clean.
Yeah. And it's such a challenge. I remember, like, I wasn't into clean stuff. I didn't even really know. I hadn't educated myself about any of this stuff, like even natural deodorant or any of these things, until after I had my son. And then I just went, and that he's 12 now. And I just went, I don't want to say crazy, but a little bit, because I was like to the point of even making him like Cheez-Its from scratch, like I'm doing all the things from scratch so that I could control the ingredients. And, even, like you said, finding organics and stuff like that. It was hard. Even just 12 years ago, the options were really slim. And, I don't think I was ordering a lot of stuff online at that time. It was just like whatever was in the store was all you had to choose from.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people are also asking me, how come that you focusing so deep into that? Because I had it on my own skin. I discovered things because of makeup products or even creams. I had a facial cream. I was when I used to live in Switzerland, I used to have an own beauty spa, and I was working on a daily basis for the facials with creams, toners, serums, and I was feeling kind of off, and I didn't know why. I was like, what is going on with me? And when I went to the doctor, after making a several amount of tests, he discovered that my formaldehyde and isopropyl, it was way too high.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies, every country has a certain percentage of isopropyl and formaldehyde that you can have into your product. But there are a lot of companies, and especially big brand companies, which go over that percentage. They just put let's say 2% of formaldehyde in it, but in there is way more.
Right.
I understand that this kind of ingredients can change or make it that wow effect for the product. But at the end of the day, what they're doing wrong is actually playing with our health.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing with foods, right? Like there are just common foods that we would eat, you know, macaroni and cheese and whatnot, that they make in the United States that have, and in the same company, they have, you know, certain ingredients, and then in Europe or wherever, where it's not allowed for them to use those ingredients, they don't use them, even though it's the same manufacturer. But over here in the US, they use what they can because one, it's cheaper, and, you know, and people they don't say much about it, right? It's not an issue.
Sometimes you go to the doctor, let's say you have a cause of cancer, and the first thing you say is, oh, okay, it was now me, or it happened now to me. But if you go deeper to find out why it happened, and not many do that, but when it happened to me, and my mom also had cancer, and we had to look up, like the doctor told us, you have to look up what it's in there. Right. Even for me, changing my whole cosmetic line in my beauty spa, it was financially a problem because I had to change the whole thing. And especially I didn't want it to harm my customers. Right. And I remember that one customer, she said, why are you changing the whole line? I mean, why are you going now to this brand that I not even know? Right. And I was like, because the other brand was causing me problems, and eventually you as well. And when I went deeper into the conversation with her, she was actually very appreciating the fact that I was taking care of them and not only of myself.
Yeah, but then it's like the education, right? You're educating them on why they need it, because I feel like a lot of times we, as we've been growing up, we just follow what our parents or, you know, like our mom has shown us, like this is okay to do, or even to eat. And I know some people will be like, oh, well, we ate it when we were kids, like it's fine, but the ingredients are different. They look the same, but it's different. So same thing with makeup, you know, it's like maybe it was fine then, but in order to cut costs or, you know, whatever, they will add these ingredients that are harmful. And, you know, it's definitely not good. So I like that you're educating them, and that, I guess that's part of your business as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Even now with my makeup line, every single product that I have, it's a story behind why I got that one and why I created it. And every customer that comes to me and buys it, I will educate them how to use it and why to use it in that way. Absolutely.
I love that. And so then it had to be such a hard process, especially having a daughter and a family, to even start your own line. I mean, tell us like what it was like to do that, and like what's your average day look like?
I mean, obviously I have only one daughter. It's sometimes it's easier to manage when you only have one as when you have two or three. Right. But I'm also a very lucky mom that she's an amazing girl. And well, she's been with me since I was already working for myself. So she kind of is used to that process. And but now growing up, there are some challenges, especially now with COVID, how we gotta manage the whole routine. Right. I always, the advice that I give, just take the day by day. Don't calculate anything or just program anything, because sometimes when you program anything or something, it's going the other direction, especially with kids. So I just take day by day. I have my schedule on when I do posts or when I do talk about my products or even doing my research. And that is mostly when my daughter is in bed. So
oh, so you're like burning the midnight oil, and during the day you're like hanging and doing things with her.
Yes. Also, I mean, she's part of it too, and she loves to see it, to watch it, and to see the different kind of colors, especially as a girl.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
Of course. I mean, you have your own little, audience right there helping you.
Yes.
And, I know exactly what you're saying. When I started my business, which was 7 years ago, my boys were very young, and I almost kind of taught them and trained them like, this is what mommy's doing. And they would sit beside me on the couch while I would be on my computer, and they were perfectly content. They understood when I was on a call, you don't interrupt. And they were really young, like, I think my little one was in pre-K, so 4 or 5 years old. And but now I have my nieces too, and I've had to teach them that this is how I'm working. And just because I'm home doesn't mean that I'm here to like play with you. If I'm sitting at my desk, it's because I'm working. And so it's a new thing, like teaching them how to, I guess, support a parent who is a business owner.
Yes, and absolutely. I mean, when I do like a video, I tell her like before, mommy's doing a video, so you gotta be quiet. She grabs a book or she grabs her tablet on that time. So, but she's listening as well. And every time I finish, she tells me what she thinks about it. And
nice.
I mean, it makes me proud that my own daughter is like, yeah, mommy. I mean, there are our biggest admirers. And she's like, even she has a good critique. She's like, oh, I didn't like that. Or I would do it differently. She's 80 years old now, and she's a little bit sassy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's good though, because you get feedback from somebody who is really, these kids are so driven by technology anyways. So I think the feedback is helpful. Like my kids have probably watched all my YouTubes, and it's crazy. Like interviews from a million years ago, and and they're just, I think it's funny to them when they watch me, but it just lets them know what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Absolutely. And nowadays with COVID, is everything online, everything goes through social media. Right. So I'm sorry. So it's absolutely normal to be like that.
Yeah. So what has been your biggest challenge in being a mom business owner? And especially getting this lineup? I mean, this is new for you, right? Has it been, you said it's been within the last year?
A year. I started right before COVID. I thought, wow, nothing would happen. But I'm very thankful of this challenge. I think my biggest challenge was really the COVID situation.
Right.
How to manage a new business and make it through.
Right, right.
And as I'm a business owner since more than 20 years.
Right.
I had a break in between of 6 years, and now I restarted something. So it's like, I have people that say, oh, for you, it has to be easy. No, exactly. It's not easy.
Why would they assume that it's easy?
Maybe because they say, oh, you already been through that, so you know exactly what to do. But every business has their own challenges, and every business is different and unique in their own way. And
like for your family life, like, like that's, everybody is unique there too. So they can't just assume just because you have one child that it's easier than,
But that's what most think, like, oh, one child, that's peanuts. Everything goes easy.
She's super sassy though, so.
But we do have our challenge. We do have our bad days. That's normal. Everybody else has it too. But I think just making money through a period of time where she's so not sure what's going to happen with us,
Right.
what direction we are going through. And I think the most important is how to pivot point in a different, I mean, from a bad situation, take the positive out and make it work. If I can make it through this, I can make it in any situation, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, this whole COVID thing has been so challenging, right? Because we're trying to run our business and now we have to educate our kids and, you know, they're not being socialized and, you know, all of these factors are coming into play. And like, it might be, you know, there's different challenges when you have one child, when you have multiple children, right? Because if you have one, they look to you to entertain them, right? Which is hard because they, you know, they want
They
all
don't
of your
have
attention,
anyone else.
right? So I feel like that might be the challenge with having one. You know, like, yeah, it's one, but at least my kids have each other to play with, you know, and entertain each other. Yeah, even though sometimes they fight.
Yes, you have to make room for that one child that she doesn't feel like, oh, I'm left out and nobody's playing with me. Nobody's putting attention to me.
Yeah.
So there is sometimes, that's why it's important to have a schedule to make some room as well for your kids, even though you're working for yourself from home.
Right.
But I think these challenges is not only for somebody that is working for itself, as well somebody that works for a different kind of company.
Right.
They have to do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, just I never wanted to be a homeschooling mom. And for moms that do that, like, you are my hero, because I got to really witness what it was like to have your kids at home all the time while you're running a business and have to help them with their schoolwork. And I never want to do that. Like, never. It was just so, it was so much. It was so stressful and, you know, so hard to do. And so, like you said, if we can do, you know, get through this time and get through this period, and then I think that we can do anything. So
I agree. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, so your biggest challenge was the COVID and opening a new business and trying to get it out there, I'm sure, is just as challenging, you know, because it's new. And now, like you said before, it was hard because there wasn't much of a market. But now, I mean, is there a lot of competition for you? And
I mean, competition, when we talk about makeup, there's a lot of competition out there.
Right.
It all depends how, I mean, I have a specific target and I have a specific customer that I want to work with.
Right.
I'm not just one more makeup artist with one more makeup line. I have a mission, and that mission is to help as much as I can with my service or my knowledge as a makeup artist, and as well with what I have. And I think that what it makes me different as all the other makeup artists out there.
Well, I love that you are serving a specific target, you know, because that's my thing, is like, always, it's hard for people to niche down, right? They feel like they can serve everybody. But when you are targeting this one particular client, then it's easier for you to market, right? Because everything is, you can speak to that person. And that doesn't mean you're saying, oh, well, if you're not going through chemo, then I can't, or haven't been through it, then you can't buy my stuff. No, I'm just saying, like, these are the people who I'm marketing to, right?
Absolutely. And I think personal experiences is what helps you to make it better. I know exactly what I'm talking through, and I know how their skin is reacting. I know what they have to use, what they cannot use. Sometimes it's just making a little difference in their daily routine. It doesn't mean that they have to wear makeup just to look like a fancy makeup artist or those makeup models that we see on Instagram or in social media.
Right.
It's just making their life a little bit easier with looking better. Because at the end of the day, everybody, if we look out ourselves into the mirror, even when we don't have or going through cancer, and we just look like, bleh,
right.
you don't feel well.
Yeah.
But if you know exactly, and you have the tools how to make that little change, you look at yourself in a different way, and you start to feel also differently. And especially in cancer, feeling differently is also part of healing and getting better. Yes.
Yeah. So because you're trying to help other moms, and the whole premise behind this is, what is it, what's your story on running a business, raising a family, but also remembering yourself. So what do you do to remember yourself? Because a lot of times, we push ourselves to the bottom.
I usually have my self-love, or let's say like my pamper days, which is Katiuscia Saturday or Sunday, which my husband takes our daughter for a half day away or a couple hours. It depends what I need. It's not always the same. Sometimes it's a whole day and sometimes it's a couple of hours.
Right.
But I'll take that time to do something good for me. Is it a walk, or is it just having a good facial mask, or a pedicure, or doing my nails, going to the hair, just doing something that I feel only afterwards I feel recharged and I feel better.
Yeah. And it's so important too, because the when you feel better, then it makes everything else easier, especially, for your kids. You're not reactive, like you're just performing a lot better when we take care of ourselves. And like I said, I think that we often forget ourselves because as moms, we are conditioned to put everybody before us, right?
Yes.
And so I think that that's something that we need to really just stop doing, and, just remember that, it would be a lot better if you would do something for yourself, even if it's just something little in the moment, go sit in a car for 5 minutes, go, like get yourself a break,
Even a coffee with a friend, or just a walking with a friend, that you can not talk mommy stuff, or that you hear the word mommy for the so 1 million times during the day.
Or it's like venting to a friend, sometimes about how frustrated you are is, helpful too. Like, let me, you will not believe how much of a turd I have right now. You know what I mean? Like, my kid is such an asshole and I have to tell somebody, So, just having somebody as a teammate and who can really help you, I think is helpful too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where can everybody find you online?
I have an online store, which is an Etsy store on www.krcosmeticsus.etsy.com. And social media, I am also under Care Cosmetics. They can find me, or in Instagram as well as Care Cosmetics US.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Katiuscia, for, I said it wrong, but
Katiuscia, it's okay.
Katiuscia, for stopping by, and I appreciate it. It was so great to meet you and talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
And there you have it. I want to encourage you to remember that being a mom who runs her own business is not easy. We all struggle, but just keep moving forward and don't forget to make time for yourself. As moms, we are usually the first thing to go to the bottom of the list. If your business is overwhelming you and you need real solutions, not just some sugar-coated suggestions, apply to work with me at ritasuzanne.com/apply.